part 2, making chocolate sourdough bread. So as I said before, I don't use a scale. So I started off by adding 1.5 cups of warm filtered water. Then I slowly added 1 cup of my chocolate sourdough starter. I use a spatula so that I can scrape the measuring cup because I want to get every single piece, or at least as much as I can, of this sourdough chocolate. It is the right consistency. So next I'm going to use my Danish spoon, and I'm just going to mix the chocolate sourdough starter into my warm water, and I'm going to make sure I mix it until it's really smooth and it has no lumps that are still in there. So this takes, maybe a minute or so because I'm stirring it by hand, but as I said, you want to make sure it's mixed very well. Next, I'm going to take my dark chocolate cocoa, and I'm going to add in just a little bit over 1/3 cup. So I started with 1/3 cup, and I eyeballed and I didn't think it was enough, so I added a little more in there. So once the dark chocolate cocoa is in there, I'm going to go ahead and get some instant chocolate pudding. And y'all, this was my first time adding this instant chocolate pudding, and I tell you, it was such a game changer. So I ended up adding about 2.5 tablespoons, as you can see. Like I said, I just eyeball it. There wasn't a whole lot left in there, so I just decided to dump it. Then I take my regular table salt and I add 1 teaspoon of salt to the mixture. So we have our dark chocolate cocoa in there, our Jello instant chocolate pudding, and our salt. And then I'm going to take 3 cups of my bread flour. This is just regular white bread flour, and I'm going to add all 3 cups into my mixture. So typically what I would do next is take my hands and I would mix this all together, but because I'm recording and trying to show you guys how to do it, I just use my whisk again. So you could do it either way, but I like to use my hands so that I can get down there and feel and make sure there are no lumps left. So I take this and I just kind of, stir several times because you don't want to have any of the white flour showing, right? That would be awful to look at your bread, you slice it open and it's chocolate on the outside and then you have some white specks on the inside. So it's firming up now because of the flour. So I'm back with my Old Faithful whisk and my Old Faithful spatula, and I'm going to use my spatula to clean as much of the dough as I can off of the whisk. And I'm going to take my spatula and now I'm going to stir in this dough, but I want to also make sure that I'm scraping the sides of my bowl down as well. After a while, I got tired of that spatula and I just decided to go ahead and put my hands in there and just get down and dirty. So I put my fingers into the flour, and so that my hands aren't as sticky when I use my hands to go in there. And I just take the dough and I just, turn it over and over and over. And I'm also feeling for lumps to make sure that there are not any lumps in there. But when you're doing this, you want to make sure that you're being very gentle with the dough, okay? Treat it like you're wearing white gloves, being very gentle. And then you just, just take it over and under, over and under, over and under. And as you can see, guys, it's sticky. My hands have gotten very sticky from the dough. You see the consistency? It's like elastic, and that's what you're looking for. So I'm back to using my spatula at this point, and what's really important to me, I think it's the baker mentality in me, that I'm going to take that spatula and I'm going to scrape the sides of my bowl down because, hey, it took me a while to get this started to the way that I want it, and I don't want to lose any of it. All right. So after I have gotten this part done, I'm going to take my shower cap. Yep, you can just go to the store and purchase you some shower caps. They're very inexpensive. And I'm going to cover my bowl with the shower cap, and I'm going to let it rest on my counter for 30 minutes. All right, be back, guys, for the next part.